Bad Batch Season 2 so far has been brilliant. The first 2 episodes were fantastic, so here is a breakdown, summary, recap kind of thing. So episode 1 starts with a crab-looking creature emerging from some trees on a beach. Chasing the crew seem to be holding some sort of cargo container. We then cut to Omega doing some sort of studying on ship types. This will come in handy later. A little hint for you there. Suddenly the crab creatures, who are massive by the way, emerge from the water as the ship takes off to go rescue the others. Essentially, the creatures attack the ship, causing Omega to fall off. Luckily she did this though, because this allows her to use her bow and arrow like thing to shoot the creatures off the ship, allowing Tech to take off and collect Omega and the others. We then cut to a bar and the crew enter a back room in which a pirate named Fee is waiting, as well as Sid. The crew don't seem too happy when they find out Sid has basically told Fee all about their backstory, but Sid says not to worry as Fee is an old friend. Sid then tells them a mission which would set them free, meaning they wouldn't have to do all this running from the Empire anymore because the mission's reward is so valuable. The mission is to go to Serenno, the former home and birthplace of Count Dooku. I've made a video on him, which will be linked at the end of the video, which essentially will explain all of his backstory and why he turns to the dark side. They're sent there to steal an Imperial cargo ship which is transporting Dooku's fortunes off the planet. Hunter is skeptical at first, but after some consultation with the others he is convinced, so they set off to Serenno. As the crew enter Serenno's atmosphere, we see Hunter and Echo having a conversation about Omega, in which Echo pretty much says they'll never have complete freedom because of Omega. Unfortunately, Omega overhears, but keeps it to herself for now. We then see them land and look over a damaged Serenno. Before the Republic, Serenno was a beautiful planet, similar to Coruscant but a lot more natural and free, but it definitely got the treatment of Coruscant and Kamino. The crew then scout out the containers or war chests, which they will be stealing, and watch them begin to be transported off-world, so they have to act fast. So they split up, all except Hunter go down to the container to steal what they can. Hunter will distract the clones if things go wrong or when an escape is needed. So we see everyone bar Hunter enter a single container holding some of the goods. There are like tens if not hundreds of these containers spread across 3 ships, but the crew only go for 1. A clone walks past, but Wrecker deals with him for now. Another little hint for you. They begin looking for items of high value, and Omega stumbles across what looks like a traditional chest of buried treasure. We also see Hunter putting explosives on the escort ships right next to the patrolling troops, should they need a diversion. We then cut to the clones, who notice CT-8801 is missing. This is the clone Wrecker knocked out earlier. So they send troops to look for him. As they do this, however, Hunter sets off the explosives on the ship, and that diverts the attention away from the others for now, allowing Wrecker to take the war chest to the forest nearby. The clones now know something's up and launch the cargo, with Omega, Tech and Echo still on board. We see Wrecker and Hunter meet up, but they realise the others are still in the containers and the ship takes off. Wrecker and Hunter are spotted as they breach the perimeter. As they exchange shots with the clones, they jump on a ladder attached to the cargo ship and take off with the others, but not in the container. They can't hold on though and have to drop off, landing on Dooku's old castle. The others walk around the vessel, and Omega remembers something about the ship from earlier, that the containers can detach and have boosters on so they can land. So this is what they do. Wrecker and Hunter enter Dooku's castle whilst exchanging fire with more clones, and Hunter realises there's a lift where they're standing near Dooku's old throne. So with a bit of help from Wrecker, they activate the lift, or elevator for the Americans, begin to fall, similar to what happens to the others except they're in a container ship. This is how episode 1 ends. This is that for episode 2. The group has a rough time on the brink of a mountain, and Tech ends up gravely hurt. Echo went outside to look around their landing spot. They haven't landed yet though, and they're perched on a cliff in the middle of a forest. They abandon the shipping container and its contents and head for the nearby woods. The search for the Bad Batch continues for the troopers. Hunter contacts Tech and informs them they must immediately implement Plan 0+1 to go radio silent. Omega detects their pursuer, a guy named Roma, almost instantly. They assume he's on the take from the Empire, and he thinks they are in on it too. They all go to Romar's residence. Omega orders them to return to the shipping container and retrieve the arsenal. Nevertheless, Echo won't do it since he knows it may jeopardize her life. As 50 containers were unloaded from the cargo ship, the stormtroopers split into smaller groups. In addition, they wish to acquire Hunter and the others from their ends. We need more explosives. Hunter and Wrecker are almost out. The Separatist tank is discovered, but a strategy is hatched. Romar warns Echo, Tech and Omega not to steal the treasure box since it's cursed. How Dooku robbed the city blind is the story he tells them. Omega is instructed to let the Empire steal the treasure box. Echo warns Omega that she must guard Romar at all times. Meanwhile, Hunter and Wrecker examine the Separatist tank to see whether or not it will be useful in the next battle. Romar presents Omega with a one-of-a-kind optical illusion toy. Tech and Echo argue over the war chest and how it will aid their quest for independence. Echo leaves Omega and Tech with Romar as he goes on a patrol. Tech assists Romar in mending a piece of machinery. Hunter and Wrecker are still engaged in combat with the soldiers in the city's ruin. Finally getting the tank to fire, they attack the soldiers and their spacecraft, however more soldiers keep barging in to attack. Tech has fixed Romar's data storage device when Echo returns to patrol. He and the others realise Omega is gone. They think she may have gone to get the war chest out of the shipping container. Tech, who is injured, and Echo set out on to locate her. As Omega and the others approach the container, the soldiers arrive and begin firing their blasters at them. While Tech is busy fending off the stormtroopers, Hunter and Wrecker return to their spacecraft, informing Hunter of their current coordinates. We see in the container Echo and Omega exchange a conversation about what happened in the ship. It was a conversation between Hunter and Echo in which Echo says to Hunter that they will never truly be free of all the trouble of the Empire because of Omega. Omega overheard, however. After this, with Romar's help, they escape the container and board with Wrecker and Hunter. Clone Force 99, according to one of the soldiers who reported to Vice Admiral Rampart, attempted to steal the treasure trove. Rampart informs him it is impossible because they all sank at the collapse of Tipoca City. The soldier informs him his information was wrong since they saw them alive and well. Rampart fears for his safety if Governor Tarkin finds out he lied about the death of the Bad Batch members. For the missing goods report, he instructs the soldiers to remove any references of Clone Force 99. The officer, however, declined to file the fabricated report. After killing him, Rampart decides to turn in a report himself.